Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be bringing to you a video that I am so proud to make. As you guys know, we have been going through an FIP journey with my cat Amara. And by the way, yes, I am filming in my bathroom. My husband is sleeping in the room. The kids are sleeping in their rooms. I don't have anywhere to film where the dogs aren't barking. So yeah, that's why you see my bathroom. So let's ignore that. So basically, FIP was known to be a deadly disease to cats, and with treatment that hasn't been FDA approved just yet, but treatment works. I'm very proud to say that after 92 days, Amara has been cleared to go into observation, which is music to my ears. Amara had to actually complete, I think, 100 and something days. It was like basically 14 weeks total. So she did, you add it up, probably about 12 and a half weeks of treatment. So Amara did 92 days. Typically, when a cat has FIP, their typical time frame is 84 days. However, if you decide to get them spayed, which is what's highly recommended for cats, if you decide to get them spayed, you get them spayed 10 weeks into treatment. Treatment is total of 12 weeks. Amara did about 13 and a half weeks. She couldn't complete the whole 14 weeks. Reason why it's 14 is because they have to go 2 weeks after the 84 days, just to make sure that with the stress level of being spayed and amongst other things, they're supposed to go 14 weeks total. Amara did 13 and a half because she did develop a reaction, or what we think is a reaction, allergic reaction, to the FIP treatment. Now, that's not to say that the treatment did not work, because it did. It saved my little girl's life, and I am truly thankful to the doctor who created this cure for cats. He's basically devoted a lot of years to trying to make a cure for FIP. And if you guys don't know what FIP is, look it up. It's basically coronavirus in cats that mutate to FIP, which was known again to be a deadly disease. And my little girl is on her way to being cured. So basically what happens in observation is they are basically being observed for 84 days, obviously at home. I'm the one observing her, and she does get blood work every 30 days. Actually, it's 30 days and 60 days and then 84 days. So, she basically has to have 3 blood works within the 84-day span. And basically that is to let the admins know that everything's going good with her blood work, so on and so forth. You also have to make sure that you're checking that they're eating, that they're gaining weight, they're not losing weight, that they're not having a high temperature or a fever, or just temperature. But basically just watching out for them and making sure that they're not relapsing. So we are in day 2 of observation, and Amara is acting so good. She's being very playful, running around, jumping off the walls, eating, drinking, pooping, peeing, normal kitten stuff. Amara was diagnosed when she was 5 months old. Amara is 8 months old now. I know. Time goes by so quick that it's like so ridiculous how quick time is passing by. I literally thought that the 84 days was going to be the longest days of my life, and they were. And it was a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. But I think as the days and weeks started to pass, I did start to notice that I was getting less and less stress about Amara, because I saw that she was visibly doing good and her blood works were all coming back good. Now, I want to go ahead and jump into the allergy that she has. I'm going to use allergy, like quotations around allergy, is because they did do blood work on Amara. It's called a PTT test, which basically it checks for clotting in her skin. They also did a fecal exam to make sure she didn't have any parasites, because the eosinophils, which is basically the allergy, started to become high. Now on day, I think it was day 53, let me double check real quick, but on day 50, my bad, day 50, we switched Amara from injections to the pills, and Amara still responded very well to treatment. I did not know that she had any issues allergy-wise to the medication until February came, which is when we switched her over. Her doctor started to see the numbers were still in normal ranges. However, her doctor started to see that the number was going up and up and up. Normally, based on their measurements, it goes from 0 to 1, and Amara was still under 1, but it started to go to 0.5, 0. Blah 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 blah, to a point that I got to 1.6, which is obviously a little high. And so Amara, after her spay at 10 weeks and like something days, after almost a week after the spay, she developed a really bad rash under her skin. And I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? I obviously reached out to her admins, which admins, I'm using the word admins because in the Facebook page, if you have a cat that has FIP, you do get assigned to admins that take over her care, that you basically communicate with, and you tell them any issues that you're having or any good or bad news, and they help you along the way with medication, with what you should do, what is recommended, so on and so forth. So of course, my first go-to was to reach out to the admins because I noticed it on a Friday night and the vet was already closed. So what I did was I messaged them and they told me, oh, you know, how did that happen? And I'm like, just, I don't know, you know? And so of course, I like to freak out for the smallest little things, which is still, you know, it's still okay to freak out when a cat has FIP because of course you don't know what's going on. So the unknown is very scary. And so they had reached out to an FIP vet, and they basically said that it could either be parasites or it could be a clotting issue. And let me just give you guys a little background story. I had a cat named Luna. Gosh, I love her so much. She passed away in November, and when I got her, she did have issues with clotting. And I noticed that her blood did not coagulate, so I'm very, very familiar with clotting issues in a cat. And so she had to be given vitamin K, which she was on that probably for like a few weeks. And then they were able to give her spay. The way that they noticed that she had a clotting issue was because every time that they would take out blood, her blood kept, you know, flowing out. And they were like, oh, you know, her blood isn't coagulating, blah, blah. So then, you know, that's how I found out that Luna had a blood problem. And until she became probably about 4 or 5, when we moved to Missouri, they noticed that the coagulation was like normal. Like her blood was coagulating, and you know, every time they would take the blood out, when they would take out the needle, her blood would clot right back up and no blood would seep out. So that somehow resolved on its own. But if you have a cat that has clotting issues and they go under surgery, they can bleed out and you can lose your cat, which are more chances are higher than, you know, a cat that does not have any clotting issues. So I remember telling my admins, I'm like, oh my God, you know, I don't think it's clotting for this reasons that I just told you. And so they still wanted us to check and be very on top of Amara's case with checking the PTT, which is basically checking the time that it takes for her blood to clot. And they wanted to check that just in case, because she did have that really bad rash, which I'll insert a picture of that rash if I haven't done so already. And so they wanted to check that. Her vet, when I went on Saturday, reached out to another FIP vet, and they wanted her to check to see if she had parasites. And I had taken her blood work and they gave it over to a pathologist, and there was no parasites in her blood. The stool sample that I gave in, no parasites in her stool, so I mean she has no parasites internally. which is great. And then the PTT test came back normal, which means that her blood was clotting perfectly fine, no issues with her blood. So what we came to find out is that Amara, after surgery, which was probably 7 days after surgery, you're supposed to keep the cone on for 10 to 12 or 10 to 14 days as per my vet. Each vet is different, I'm assuming. But we decided to take off the cone at 7 days in the house. The reason why we did that was because her incisions, she had no stitches outside, they were all internal. But she was healing perfectly fine. There was no swelling, there was nothing going on. And Amara, with FIP, you know, we didn't want to stress her out even more and maybe cause like a relapse or anything like that. So we were like noticing that with the cone, she was very down and depressed. And we were like, you know, let's take off the cone, but we'll watch her to make sure she doesn't bite herself, lick herself in that area until she's fully healed. And so that's what we did. And then on day 8, we took her to the vet and they gave us the okay to just completely take off the cone. She was fine. She was healing perfectly fine, blah, blah, blah. So what our vets think is that maybe the other cats were messing with her and probably bit her, or she was playing with a cat toy and maybe she bumped her stomach when she had the surgery and caused a bruising. Because after the redness went down with antibiotics and anti-inflammatories, they noticed the bruising. And so the bruising is now gone after probably like 3 or 4 days. The bruising is gone. The inflammation is gone. And with the test coming back on great news, that's what they figured it could have been. Of course, there's no concrete proof that that's what happened, but that's the logical sense that we can all come up with. So Amara is an observation, and it has been the longest journey I've ever been on and the most stressful time in my life because, you know, not knowing if she's going to be okay or if she's going to, you know, have her bad days. But, you know, I am just so happy where we're at right now. And yeah, it's very stressful still with a lot of anxiety. Because, you know, now she's in observation, so she's no longer taking the medicine. So now we got to see if her body is going to, you know, be okay. And so I have a lot of faith and a lot of hope and a lot of praying that I've been doing to make sure that Amara ends up coming out of this journey cured. And then once they're cured, there's no more FIP, no more wanting, or no more, you know, thoughts of it coming back, because once you're cured, you're cured. And that's it. There's no more. So I wanted to give you guys a little update on that, because I know I haven't been doing the updates like I said I was. You know, life happens. Caring for Amara, 2 little kids, and 2 other cats, and being a wife or a fiance. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And then working full time. It's a lot of work. But I did want to give you guys an update on the lumasoothelighttherapy that I did do on her. And of course, this video is mostly meant or targeted to those parents who have FIP and who happen to come along my page. If your cat is having sores on their back, I highly recommend the lumasoothelighttherapy. I think it's called lumasoothelighttherapy. I'll insert a picture of it as well as a description. I'm going to put like a little link to what I'm talking about. And that I feel really helped out her skin. I didn't do it for so long, for weeks on end. I did do it for a few weeks. And I did it twice a day. Sometimes I did it 3 times a day because her skin was so rough. And we still had to, at that time, we were still giving her the injections. So I needed to make sure that I was doing something to make her skin smoother, because you have to pull up their skin and make a little tent in order to put the needle in to give the injection, and her skin was not budging. I was injecting her twice in the dermal layer, which basically forms a ball on her skin that she had to be on antibiotics twice for that to come down, and not twice for the same ball, but she had one and then she had another one, so she had to be on that same treatment twice for 3 days, and it went down, you know, no issues. But you know, I would assume that it was hurting her. She was very tender, according to her vet, but you know, that's why we switched over to the pills, and I don't regret switching her over to the pills. I know she became allergic to the pills, but her skin was not having it anymore. And I had to do something to get that treatment into her to make sure that I can save her life. So, you know, I don't regret it. I wish she didn't have an allergy so she could have completed all weeks of treatment. But I was told by her admins that in the UK, they do 2 weeks after treatment. So Amara was exactly 2 weeks after treatment, when she was, well, actually it was 15 days after, when she was given the okay to go into observation. So that's good to know. But that's pretty much it with an update on Amara. I really wanted to make this because it's very, very dear to my heart. To try to save all these kittens who have FIP, and to those parents who are going on YouTube, going on Google, going on Facebook, and trying to get information for FIP. If you guys want to learn more about it, I will leave their Facebook page in the description below for those of you who have a cat that has FIP. If you want, you can also leave a comment down and I'll answer your questions, you know, to the best of my ability. But, you know, reaching out to that FP page, the Facebook page that's called FIP Warriors 5.0. Again, it'll be linked in the description. Will really help and save your cat. Keep in mind, it is very expensive, but if you love your cat, like if it's your own, the treatment is worth it. You can always do a GoFundMe page. I do have a GoFundMe page. I have spent a lot, we're talking about thousands of dollars saving my little cat, and it has worked. So I don't regret not one bit of it, because it was hard-earned money spent very good and very wise. And this is my little girl, my 8-month-old. And you see, this is the part that I had to shave. Right here, her hair is growing back. She is doing so well. We do ask for all your prayers. Look at her playing with me. We do ask for all of your prayers. If you guys can keep us in your thought and prayers whenever you guys are praying. Get her. Oh my god. Go down. Go down. Oh, there she goes. We do ask for all your prayers. So if you guys can say a little prayer for Amara to make sure that she comes out of this cured. We really, really, really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. It means a lot to bring awareness and having a platform. Although my platform isn't so big, but I do appreciate having a platform where I can bring awareness to FIP. And I do plan on making more videos of Amara, so that way everyone can see that this treatment works. So that way cats are not being put to sleep and, you know, basically, you know, death sentence for them, because it's no longer that. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good girl. Spike, come here. Crunch, crunch. You gotta let go, okay? Gotta let go. Amara. Good girl, my sweet girl. Good girl. Crunchy crunch. Come here, Spike. Bear. Come here, Bear. Come here, Bear. Bear, come here. Quanty, Quanty, you gotta let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let go. Let go. Let go, 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 let go. You gotta let go, handsome man. Hey, come here. Come on, handsome man. But yeah, that's it for this video. It's very short. I think it is very short. Don't know, but please make sure to like this video and make sure to subscribe to my channel while you're at it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.